Hi, it's Dr. Manali. Today I'm going to be talking about how negative words can lead us to emotionally eat and what we can do about that. Now, when we hear negative words from other people, that can cause us to feel sad or angry or discouraged. And our first response may be to emotionally eat chocolate or ice cream or something like that. That's not a good idea because obviously it derails us from our healthy eating habits. But also the other thing to consider is that when we feel stressed out from other people's words, that leads us to develop more risk factors for heart disease long term. So there's the short-term effect of unhealthy eating, but there's also the long-term effect of chronic stress on your body can lead you to be more likely to develop heart disease long term. So that's why it's important to find a solution now and start dealing with it now instead of letting it impact our health short term and long term. Now, I understand it is difficult. I've experienced negative words myself. When I was 7 years old, I moved to the Atlanta area from the Detroit area, and I was the only South Asian kid at my school. Now, it's a lot more diverse, but at the time it wasn't, and I was, the only South Asian child at my school from about 2nd grade to 6th grade. And kids didn't really know what to make of me. I heard the full range of, statements from, oh, you're Indian, what tribe are you from? Because other children hadn't heard of the country India, to, you're going to hell, we're praying for you at church because I'm not Christian. So I understand that it is difficult when you do hear negative words, but it's important that we don't internalize those words and let them define us or change our behavior. And so here are some tips for dealing with negative words. The first thing to consider is that, it may have nothing to do with us. Other people may be saying negative words because, their lack of knowledge or because they're having a bad day or because negative things are happening in their lives. And it may really not have anything to do with us. So we shouldn't internalize it and let it affect our behavior because it may not be related to us at all. We may just be the person standing there who hears the negative words when that person is having a bad day. The second thing to consider is that, if you are part of a group of people that's unique or different, or the first group of people doing something or being something like I was, then it is going to be hard. You are breaking barriers and you should feel proud of that, but it's important to acknowledge that it is going to be hard when you are breaking barriers. That's the point, and that's okay. But it is going to be difficult, and the response is not to, emotionally eat or have self-destructive behaviors. We have to consider changing our mindset to do something different. And the third thing to consider is that, part of the reason we may be emotionally eating is that we may feel alone, like we're the only person experiencing this. But instead of thinking of it as, why is this happening to me and no one else, the other thing to consider is that, maybe you just don't know those people. They may not be in your city or your town or at your work or your school, and you may have to go out and look for them. Social media makes it much easier now to find people online, Facebook groups, meetups, Eventbrite events. There's a lot of different ways to find people online, and, you may have to just go out and look for your friends. You may not know these people yet, but you're not alone. There are other people out there like you. And so instead of emotionally eating, consider that, go look for your people. And the fourth thing to consider is, I like to think of it as looking at your life from the end backwards. If you're at the end of your life and you're looking at it backwards, would you have really cared about what these people said about you, or what they said to you? And really, you probably won't. At the end of your life, and you can take my word for it, as a cardiologist, I talk to a lot of people at the end of their life. Most people care about, their family, their friends, the things they accomplished, the things they didn't accomplish, but they don't really care what some random people said to them, And so that can help you gain clarity and perspective if you think of your life from the end and look at it backwards and think, is this really going to matter in the long term, what these people said to me? And it probably is not, for the most part. What is going to matter is the choices that you make and your own behavior and the healthy habits you made and the healthy choices you made or didn't make. And so that's why it's important, we might hear the words, but we shouldn't internalize them, or we may see the words as social media. A lot of people write negative things as well. So we might hear or see these words, but it's important that we don't internalize them. We see them, we acknowledge them, and then we let them go. It's important to change your mindset. And I know it's hard, but it's something you have to work on because, like I said, the stress of these things does affect your body and does increase your risk factors for developing heart disease long term. So it can negatively affect your health long term. So we have to start dealing with it now, because it does take time, but eventually we'll get there. We have to keep trying. That's all for today. For more videos, like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Manali Desai. I'll see you next time.